Hi everyone, today we're going to be changing the engine air filter on a 2017 Volkswagen Jetta. We'll be going from this dirty filter to this nice new and clean filter. This can be a fairly simple job on most vehicles, but it wouldn't be a Volkswagen if it wasn't a little bit more complicated than it needed to be. In addition, we're going to save some serious money here. I called up my local Volkswagen dealer and found out that they charge $89 to do this. Before we get into this, please take a minute to subscribe to my channel. Doing so would really help me out. You'll need a few basic tools in order to complete this job. First, you'll need a new engine air filter. I've put the part number for the 2017 Jetta in the description below. Second, you'll need a Phillips screwdriver. And third, you'll need some pliers. Make sure they're big enough so that they can easily clear your thumb. First up, we've got to pop the hood. The release is on the left of the steering wheel, down near the floor. Next, slide your fingers underneath the hood to find the release mechanism. While you're doing that, lift the hood up at the same time. Take the support rod and push it into one of the support holes in the hood. Make sure it's stable so it doesn't fall down on you. In this car, the engine air filter is right here. The first thing you'll need is some pliers, and that's so that you can release these clamps. Squeeze the two tabs together and wiggle the hose loose so that you can remove it from the air filter housing. And one more on the top. You also have to remove this hose on the back of the filter housing. It's a smaller one and it can be a little trickier to get off than the big hoses, but there is no clamp, so you can just grab your hand or grab your pliers and kind of wriggle it back and forth while moving it towards the back of the car. Next, pull firmly up on the housing and it should pop out. There are 3 little feet that it clips into. Take the housing and put it upside down on a work surface. There are a few screws to remove underneath. Using a Phillips screwdriver, remove the 2 screws carefully. You don't need to worry about these bolts falling out as they're kind of built into the housing so they don't really fall out. Finally, you can press down on these tabs to open the filter housing. There are 2 on the front and 2 on the back. Inside we have our dirty air filter, which has been due for replacement for the last few weeks. Take the new air filter and place it into the bottom of the housing. It should be identical in size to the old filter and it should fit exactly the same way. Next, clip the top back onto the housing. There's 4 clips, remember, so you can push those back in one at a time. Reinstall the screws, being careful not to over-tighten them so you don't damage the threads. And finally, take the filter housing and put it back in place. With a little bit of pressure, it should clip in, but make sure the balls are lined up properly with the filter housing. You can see here's one on the left and here's one on the right. As long as those 2 are in place, the third one should be aligned. Squeeze the tabs on the first hose and slide it back onto the filter housing. And we'll do the same for the second hose. And finally, the small hose without the clamps, you can just push that back on with your fingers, making sure it's pushed down all of the way. Remove the hood support, gently close the hood, and you're done. How easy was that? Did you give this a try? Let me know in the comments below and let me know how much money you saved doing this yourself versus paying the dealership to do it for you. If this video helped you out at all, please take a minute to show your support by subscribing to my channel, and if you like, clicking the notification bell so that you're notified anytime I publish a new video.